The spotlight was too bright and too hot. On the stage of the Riverbend High School auditorium, 15-year-old Maya stood frozen. She wore a simple black dress for her choir solo. Her eyes were not on the conductor, they were locked on a woman in the third row. The woman was my sister Chloe. Chloe's face was pale, her hands gripped the program so tight it wrinkled. Her husband David sat stiffly beside her. Between them their 4-year-old biological son Micah squirmed. The music softened, it was Maya's part. She didn't sing the written notes, she spoke, her voice clear and sharp filled the silent hall. This song, Maya said into the microphone, is for a woman who was my mom for 7 years. Chloe's breath hitched. David stared at his shoes. She taught me to tie my shoes, Maya continued, her voice wobbled but didn't break. She held me when I had nightmares, she told me I was her forever girl. A low murmur went through the crowd. Maya's foster mother, Ms. Linda, put a hand over her mouth from the front row. Then she had a real son, the word real cut through the air like glass, and I wasn't forever anymore, I was extra. Maya baby, no, Chloe whispered, but no one heard her. Maya's eyes glistened under the lights. You gave me back like a shirt that didn't fit. My question is, do you ever look at your son and see me? Do you ever wonder if your real family is complete or just broken differently? She finally looked away. She nodded to the stunned conductor, then she sang her solo. The notes were perfect, beautiful, and full of a sadness no kid should ever know. Chloe stood up, her chair screeched. Everyone looked. She pushed past knees and bags, her eyes wide with a terrible dawning horror. She was running for the aisle. 5 years earlier, my sister Chloe's house in Durham, North Carolina was full of laughter. Chloe was a paralegal. David worked for the city parks department. They had tried for years to have a baby, it didn't happen. So they brought home Maya. She was a scared, quiet 6-year-old from the foster system. I remember the day it clicked. It was a month after Maya arrived. She had a nightmare. Chloe went to her room. I heard her singing that old lullaby, You Are My Sunshine. When she came out, Chloe's eyes were wet. She called me Mom. Keisha, she told me. She said, don't go, Mom. Chloe loved being a mom. She was great at it. She braided Maya's hair for school. She helped with homework on the big kitchen table. David taught her to ride a bike in their cul-de-sac. For 7 years they were a family, a real one. Then the miracle happened. Chloe got pregnant. We were all so happy. A baby. Maya was excited too. She helped paint the nursery yellow. She practiced holding my baby to learn. But after Micah was born, things changed slowly. The house got louder, busier. Micah cried a lot. Maya's 8th grade science project got knocked over. No one had time to help her redo it. Chloe was always tired. David worked overtime for baby things. One afternoon I was over. Maya was trying to show Chloe a poem she wrote for school. Not now, sweetie, Chloe said, bouncing a fussy Micah. Mommy's busy with the baby. Maya's face fell. She looked at the floor. Okay. I saw it, the first crack. The busy became later, the later became forgotten. Maya ate dinner alone sometimes because the baby's schedule was different. Her school award ceremony was missed because Micah had a fever. Maya grew quiet. She spent more time in her room. One night Chloe called me crying, it's too much, Keisha, I can't do it all. Micah needs me every second. Maya needs everything. I'm failing them both. It's just a hard phase. I said, you need help, let me take Maya on weekends. But Chloe wasn't listening. She was in a tunnel of exhaustion and worry. David thinks maybe we were meant to just have a fresh start. My blood went cold. Chloe, what are you saying? The silence on the phone was the worst sound I ever heard. The decision wasn't loud, it was a quiet, terrible secret. They told Maya they thought she'd be happier in a home with more attention. They said it was a break. Maya, 13 years old, just nodded. She didn't cry. She packed her bags. She took down the posters in her room. She was like a ghost. I screamed at Chloe, you can't do this, she is your daughter. She's not, Chloe shouted back, her face twisted in guilt and pain. Not legally, it was never finalized. It was a kinship placement that just went on. This is what's best for everyone. They drove her to a new foster home across town, a nice woman named Ms. Linda. It was a respite placement, that's what they called it. Chloe came home and washed Maya's sheets. She put them in the closet like she was erasing her. For 2 years our family was broken. I visited Maya every week. Chloe did not. She sent gifts on birthdays. She focused on Micah. She built a perfect life with her perfect son, but her eyes were haunted. And then last week a flyer came to my house. It was for the Riverbend High Spring Choir concert soloist Maya Robinson. I texted a picture of it to Chloe. I wrote, she's singing, you should go, she's amazing. Chloe didn't reply for a day, then she texted, maybe for closure. Now in the auditorium aisle, Chloe was running. The beautiful song was a knife in her heart. She burst through the doors into the quiet lobby. She leaned against the cool wall, gasping. The words extra and real son echoed in her head. She saw a reflection in the glass doors. It was David. He had followed her carrying a confused Micah. We have to talk to her, Chloe said, her voice ragged. Chloe, she hates us, David said, his own eyes red. I don't care, we have to fix this. Just then the lobby doors from the stage area swung open. The concert was over. People started streaming out, talking in hushed, shocked tones. And then we saw her. Maya walked out holding Ms. Linda's hand. She saw us. She stopped. For a long second no one moved. The world shrank to that hallway. Micah in David's arms pointed. Mommy, who's that big girl? Maya flinched like she'd been slapped. Chloe took a step forward. Maya, please. Maya looked at her, not with anger anymore, with something worse, a cold empty. Hello Chloe, she said, using her first name, not Mom. Never again. Then she turned. She walked away with her new mother. She didn't look back. Chloe made a small broken sound. She sank to the floor of the lobby right there in front of everyone. Her perfect world was shattered. And her son, her precious biological son, looked from his crying mother to the girl walking away. He asked the question that would break Chloe all over again. Mommy, why is that girl so sad? Did we do something wrong? Chloe didn't answer Micah's question. She couldn't. The words were stuck in her throat, wrapped in too much shame. I helped my sister off the lobby floor. People stepped around us, their eyes full of pity and judgment. David held a confused Micah, his own face a mask of stunned silence. We drove home in that silence. It was heavier than any argument. At their house, Micah finally fell asleep in his car seat. David carried him inside. Chloe just stood in the driveway staring at the darkened window of what used to be Maya's room. She called me Chloe, she said to the night air. What did you expect, sis? I said, not unkindly but with truth. You stopped being her mom 2 years ago. Chloe hugged herself like she was cold. I thought it was for the best. One kid was all we could handle. I thought she'd understand. She was a child, I said. All she understood was that your love had conditions and she didn't meet them. The next week Chloe moved through her life like a ghost. She went to work at the law office. She made dinner. She bathed Micah, but her eyes were far away. Micah kept asking about the sad big girl. Kids don't forget. Was she my sister? He asked one night at bath time. Chloe dropped the washcloth. It splashed in the tub. She looked at her son's innocent, curious face. The truth was a boulder she could no longer carry. Yes, baby, she whispered, her voice cracking. She was mommy made a very big mistake. David heard her from the doorway. He didn't argue, he just looked tired. Later Chloe found the old photo albums. She hadn't opened them since Maya left. There was Maya's first day of second grade, grinning with missing teeth. There was Maya and Chloe faces painted at the state fair. A family. Chloe traced the picture with her finger. She finally let herself feel the full weight of what she had done. The sobs came from deep inside, ugly and raw. David found her on the floor of the living room, surrounded by memories. We have to try to fix this, she cried. How? He asked, defeated. You heard her, you saw her. She's never going to forgive us. Maybe not, Chloe said, but we have to tell her we're sorry, a real sorry, not for us, for her. The apology couldn't be a phone call, it couldn't be a text. Chloe knew that. She asked me to talk to Ms. Linda. I did. It was a hard conversation. Maya doesn't want to see them, Ms. Linda said firmly over coffee. She's healing. That scene at the concert set her back. She has nightmares again. I felt sick. I know Chloe knows too. She's not asking for forgiveness. She just wants to say the words to Maya's face, to own it. Ms. Linda was quiet for a long time. She's a good kid, a resilient kid, but that resilience came from surviving adults who failed her. I have to protect her. What if I said slowly, it was in a public place with you there and me, just for 5 minutes, so Maya can say whatever she needs to say. Ms. Linda sighed. Let me talk to Maya. A week later we were all at Pullen Park. It was a bright Saturday afternoon. Kids screamed on the carousel. It was too happy a place for what was about to happen. Chloe, David and Micah stood by the picnic tables. Chloe looked like she might be sick. She held a small wrapped gift. Ms. Linda walked up with Maya. Maya saw us. She stopped walking. She whispered something to Ms. Linda, who nodded and stood back. Maya walked the last 20 feet alone. She stopped far from us. Her arms were crossed. No one spoke for a full minute. The happy park sounds made the silence between us even louder. Chloe took a shaky step forward. Thank you for coming, she began. Maya said nothing. Her eyes were hard. Everything you said was right. Chloe forced the words out. We got lost, we got scared, we were selfish, we chose what we thought was an easier love, and we called it best for you. That was a lie. A tear rolled down Maya's cheek, but she didn't wipe it away. You were never extra, Maya. You were our first child. We were just broken people who didn't deserve you. Chloe's voice broke completely. I am so sorry for all of it, for every time I made you feel unseen, for giving up you didn't deserve, that you deserved a forever family, and we failed you. David cleared his throat. I'm sorry too, Maya. I went along with it. I'm just as wrong. Micah, confused by the tears, hugged Chloe's leg. He peeked out at Maya. Maya looked at him, then back at Chloe. Why is he here? She asked flatly. Because he's part of this, Chloe said, and one day I will have to tell him the whole story of how I failed you. He should see me being accountable. Maya nodded slowly. She uncrossed her arms. Okay. Okay, Chloe whispered. Okay, I heard you. Maya's voice was clear. It doesn't fix it. It doesn't make you my mom again. That's gone, but I heard you. It was both everything and not enough. Chloe nodded, crying openly. Now that's all I wanted. She held out the gift. This is for you, no strings. Maya took it. She didn't open it. I have to go now. Of course, Chloe said. As Maya turned to leave, Micah suddenly let go of Chloe's leg. He took 2 little steps forward. I'm sorry we made you sad, he said in his small, sincere voice. Maya froze. She looked down at this little boy, this brother. She never got to have her hard expression soften. Just for a second she gave a tiny, almost invisible nod to him. Then she walked back to Ms. Linda, who put a protective arm around her and led her away. Chloe didn't get a magical reunion. What she got was a consequence. The consequence was living with the truth. The consequence was knowing Maya was out in the world carrying a wand with her name on it. But that day at the park planted a small seed. It was the start of Chloe's real penance. She started going to therapy. She asked me to give Ms. Linda updates, not to bother Maya, but so Maya would know she was sticking with it. She began volunteering with a group that supports foster kids aging out of the system. She also started telling Micah in simple ways about his sister. You have a big sister named Maya. She's very brave and she sings beautiful songs. Mommy hurt her feelings a long time ago and we're working to be better. One afternoon 6 months later, I was at Chloe's when a package arrived. It was addressed to Micah. The return label said M. Robinson. Inside was a small soft teddy bear and a note. Micah. It's not your fault. Be good. M. Chloe held the note and cried again, but this time they were different tears. They were tears for a door that was still closed, but maybe, just maybe, not locked forever. She keeps that note on her fridge, a reminder of her consequence, a reminder of the daughter she lost, and a quiet, painful hope that with time and respect and endless work, they might one day build something new. Not a mother and daughter, but perhaps someday 2 people who share a history and a little boy who loves them both.